In this segment, Stephanie Miller is joined by Glenn Kirschner. Together, they continue our discussion about Trump militarizing D.C. and why it's so concerning.
It is a parade of illegality. Is that what we call it? This latest vindictive canceling Kamala Harris's Secret Service protection. Of course, I had to ask Jody. I'm like, is that legal? And she's like, yeah, technically, I guess. But I mean, here we are, right? Another petty, vindictive move.
Yeah, and will the members of Congress, the Republicans, ever stand up and say, we don't want to set former vice presidents up to be hurt or worse? I mean, at some point, men and women of Congress, come on, just grow one vertebra. I'm not even looking for a whole spine. Yeah. This can't continue. I've been saying all along, Steph, this is not sustainable. This is going to implode. I don't know how or when, but this is not sustainable.
Well, look at the open rebellion at the CDC this morning, Glenn.
Yeah.
I mean, it does have the feeling, we keep saying it, I hate to, but powder keggy, it feels, in city after city. Like, look what's happening in D.C. I mean, look what's going to happen in Chicago when they start this crap.
Yeah.
I mean,
people are going to get hurt behind Donald Trump's insanity and imbecility. They're going to get hurt. Now, will that turn the tide? Will that cause everybody to kind of rise up and say, we're done, by any means necessary? I don't know, but people are going to get hurt.
Well, I mean, first of all, when I say John Bolton, I feel like saying F that guy. But, again, wrong to do a raid of his house, wrong to take away his Secret Service protection when he's specifically a target of Iran for what happened in the first Trump term. I mean, we can disagree with people without, hoping they get killed, I just keep saying it's amazing. I don't think Trump has still said a word about the legislators that were slaughtered in Minnesota. And now, with this latest gun violence, Glenn, we get the usual parade of ridiculous, you name it, trans bashing. Oh, there should be metal detectors. Oh, it's demons. Oh, it's this. It's antidepressants, right?
Yeah, Steph, and Trump's silence when it comes to political assassinations is a tacit encouragement of political assassinations. If you're not condemning it, you are at least silently encouraging it, if not endorsing it. People are getting hurt. I should, amend what I just said about people are going to get hurt. People are getting hurt, and I don't want to mix apples and oranges, but when you see reports about how this most recent school shooter was openly on social media signaling he was going to do something like that, if we had Kash Patel and Pam Bondi involved in actual law enforcement trying to keep the nation safe instead of, doing all this running around trying to cover up Epstein files and punish Donald Trump's perceived enemies, maybe we would be able to stop things like that.
And of course, they go right to the trans issue and completely ignore all the usual, whatever you want to call it, sexist, racist, homophobic, right-wing rhetoric this kid espoused. Because that's not convenient for them. I mean, one of the things Heather said, in terms of doing anything on guns, she said yesterday's school shooter fired 116 rounds. That would have taken less than 2 minutes with the guns he had. Do not tell me that regulating guns will just make people choose a different weapon. The reason so many people die from gun violence is because guns have the capability to commit mass destruction in seconds. I mean, that's one of the issues. That nobody
and lots of people
needs.
have mental health. Lots of people have mental health challenges. But if you don't put a gun in their hand, hopefully they're going to be able to work through those challenges without resorting to deadly violence. We've always known guns are the problem. And as long as NRA money flows into Republican coffers, guns will always be an unaddressed problem.
Yeah. And I keep saying every morning here, Glenn, is sometimes some days it feels like it's all one story. And you look at the CDC, of course, was the last place to get shut up because of the anti-vax lunacy of Bobby Kennedy, right? And now here they are this morning in a mass walkout in open rebellion. Once again, in the is this legal category, Glenn? So Susan Manara's fired as CDC director. She initially was doing the same thing that the Fed governor, that they're both fighting. Right. They're saying it's not legal. Yeah. You don't have the authority to fire us. So what? I mean, Susan Menarez is her name, was sworn in as CDC director less than a month ago, was removed by the White House after she refused to resign. 4 other CDC leaders also resigned over frustration about anti-vax policy pushed by Kennedy. Dr. Menarez has neither resigned nor received notification from the White House that she's been fired, and as a person of integrity and devoted to science, she will not resign, said her attorneys. I think there's a difference, isn't there, in the Fed governor and her, because I guess Trump basically will have to, stop being a coward and actually fire her in person if in this case. Tell us
all
the
of
difference.
these things. Yeah, well, I don't know the precise difference. I know all of these things are winding their way through court. I think there was just a good ruling out of the federal district court by Judge Lamberth, putting a stop to one of Trump's firings. But again, this is all swirling around like a big mass of lawlessness and unconstitutionality. And even for us, Steph, we follow this stuff every day. It's hard for us to grab hold of it, focus on it, highlight it, so that it is important to the people, to the viewers, because then he's done 3 more unlawful things in the interim, and we're forever playing catch up, which is why I continue to say it's not sustainable. And, when you see the mass walkouts at the CDC, that will ultimately hurt the health of the American people. When you see them trying to purge good FBI agents from the FBI, that will hurt law enforcement efforts. And when you see them either firing or when you see DOJ lawyers self-selecting and leaving DOJ because they won't be part of Trump's dirty administration, that's not only a brain drain, that's an ethics drain. All of these things are setting the American people up to be harmed in multiple ways. So, at some point, it's going to have to stop.
Yeah. Stephen King, I just, broke it down as easily as you can. He said, as long as guns are easily available to crazy people, mass killings directed at so-called soft targets will continue. This is a fact. Countries where it's more difficult for crazy people to obtain guns have less shootings. That's also a fact. Do with these facts what you will. I mean, Glenn, all I can say is, I keep quoting Heather Cox Richardson, because she just said, if you want school shootings to stop, you have to stop voting for Republicans, period. I had
Republicans worship at the altar of unrestricted access to assault weapons, to weapons of war. And we all know why they do it. It is for the money. If they were getting donations that exceeded NRA donations from gun control groups, then they would be all about controlling guns. It's about money, power, influence. And, Heather Cox Richardson is right, as she always is. It's about the guns, stupid.